Hello, I'm Sadie Miller, and this is The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello and welcome, folks, to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I am your host with the most, Paparazzo Dave Chapman, and it is the days to Halloween. We're counting down. Yep, that meme will change to say Halloween because, oops. But this is our Traveling TARDIS Days to Halloween. We have so much cool Halloween stuff going on that we can't restrict it to just the usual October. So this year we're giving it a try in September. Let's have an extra long spooky season. Yay! Can I make the thing go boop right in front of my face, of course. But today we are having a great show today. We're going to be talking about the evolution of the Daleks, the part 2 of a 2-part show with Martha Jones and the 10th Doctor. It's going to be a great time. If you're just joining us from coming over from our Facebook page, we're having some technical issues on Facebook, so hopefully we're going to have some new people in our YouTube channel. Please make sure you give us a subscribe, and you can so you don't miss out on anything in the future. But for now, let's see who we've got joining us. Let's start with our producer with the mostest. Hey, Christian.
Hey there.
You are not a
folks,
crook.
I'm not a... I forgot about that. Yeah. Hey there, folks. Welcome. Yeah, we're actually starting spooky season again. As Dave mentioned, we are doing we had the 31 days of Halloween. We're not doing that anymore this year. So this year we're going to be doing the Traveling TARDIS Days to Halloween, which began yesterday, September the 1st, because the Traveling TARDIS has been to places like Spirit Halloween, also been to Halloween Horror Nights, just to give you a sample of what's taking place right now throughout the next 2 months. And we got scary pictures. That one's my favorite. That one I took at Spirit Halloween. It was an animatronic, took a picture of her and put the TARDIS right next to her and did some editing. That's what came out. Had some really fun times over at Spirit Halloween. They're still a little bit short in their inventory, but I know as we get closer to Halloween, they're going to have a lot more stuff. This one's my favorite, Dave.
I think the last one was your favorite.
That one right there.
I love it. It's great.
I love that. I was just waiting for the eyeballs. Could you imagine that kind of crossover? Could you imagine that actually taking place?
Yeah.
The Doctor walks out to the red-green, what is it? What do they call it? The red-green game? What is that? Stop and go game?
Red light, green light?
Green light, green light, yeah. Well, yeah. And we were just starting a Halloween a little bit early. And so when you go to the Traveling TARDIS Facebook page, you will see a lot of new stuff that's approaching, as well as classic stuff that we had from Halloween Horror Nights. And we are going to be doing a special episode coming up. I think we're going to be doing it at the end of the month. So anybody who is a fan of Halloween Horror Nights, this will be the first year that we're going to be bringing in some guests who are podcasters from Halloween Horror, who do Halloween Horror Nights on their own podcast and talk about the series, because it's been a big staple with the Traveling TARDIS every single year. People love the pictures that we get out there, and a lot of people also for Halloween Horror Nights. I forget, they're not cast members, and I don't want to get the term wrong, but I think they're called team members, and the team members who are out there love to get the picture with the TARDIS. So, and they're big fans. So
as they should be.
So
because we're wonderful. Darn it.
Are we?
We are. We are absolutely freaking fabulous. Darn it.
Now, again, we're not in any connection with Halloween Horror Nights. That's their own thing. We just like being out there because it's been a big staple since the Traveling TARDIS has started going out there, and people just love the pictures and the interaction with the TARDIS and the videos. So that's it.
There you go. Let's see who else we got here, all the way from the other side of the pond. The Candyman. Hey, Mark. Mark is on mute.
Yep. I know. I just realised I saw that as it comes up. I'm doing fine, and we're doing scary stuff. Is we're doing scary every weekend, every day, or is just Dave's just scary?
We're doing. We're going to be doing something Halloween-ish. So right now we're going to be doing. If you go to the YouTube channel, of course, don't forget to subscribe over there, and we'll go to the counts as soon as we get the Who Knew News up. We will be having pictures and daily videos, daily shorts, some spooky stuff out there, plus whatever we conjure up from Ancient City with the Daleks. That's going to be interesting within 2 weeks. And we got a special announcement today that will be taking place later on in the show. So we're finally having a special guest, an author, what you know her, because she's very wicked. And that's the only hint I'm going to give for right now on that one.
Mark, did you say, or is Dave just scary?
Yeah, I did.
He did.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. You jerk.
He did. He did say Dave was scary.
Problem solved.
Okay.
Let's bring on Tom. Tom, how's it going?
That's what I heard. I swear to God. Man, Dave's scary, and I laughed at that. I don't know if my mic was on. Hello,
Careful, he's going to start taking people off the show.
I'm Vincent Price, and I'm wearing shorts.
Be nice to me.
Be nice to Dave. He's a thriller.
Someone who's always nice to Dave is our philosophy is. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to review this episode, and I'm also excited for spooky season. And if you don't mind me asking a completely irrelevant question to the chat, sure. Is anyone else this spooky season or thereafter, because it might be released in November, is anyone else going to watch that Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein movie that's going to come out this year? Because I certainly am. Yeah. If you haven't seen that trailer, definitely go watch it because it looks fantastic. But I'm excited for spooky season and for this episode because even this episode's a little spooky.
I can say I'm almost certainly going to go watch it because I'm actually working on a stage show with Frankenstein right now, doing lighting design for it.
Nice.
So we maybe once I'll check that out and maybe we'll do like a group watch or something.
I love the novel and I love the way that looks and I didn't know you were doing that, Dave. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really unique take on everything. So that's gonna be my fall. And let's see who do we have left. All we have left is Gadget. So why don't we don't have a lot for news today, but let's start the Who Knew News.
Sounds like a plan.
You know, Halloween is my favorite time. You might see a new headband every time I'm on, but yeah, I hate to say it, but because everyone is rehashing old news, the only news I have for you guys today, I'm trying to read through because some of it I cannot say on here, is Matt Smith's new movie that just released on August 29th in limited release. It's called Caught Stealing, and he's definitely not Doctor-esque in this thing and stuff, especially.
I remember, what was it? The something River or Lost River or something like that, and they cut his hair, and now they've done a mohawk. And what is it with screwing around with Matt Smith's hair? I like his hair the way it is.
Well, remember, he was bald for one thing because he was when he did the final with what's her name and everything with Karen, and all the other things. So this poor man forget it. He has no hairstyle whatsoever. It's whatever they give him, and he enjoys it. He says he's having fun with it, especially in some of the trailers that I've been seeing and everything. That they even cut out the car in this movie so that his hair could fit and everything and stuff. And it was like it was punned in everything because it takes place in according to some of this one says 1998 that Austin Butler is playing a alcoholic dependent bartender, ex-baseball player, and it was shot conveniently all at the World's Fair in Queens area. It was shot all over New York, and it seems like it's a good movie. I'm just trying to sugarcoat it because it is not for kids and everything. And it has to do with babysitting a cat, drug dealers, and narcotics, and Russian mafia, and all this stuff. Meanwhile, I've met Austin Butler when I was at New York Comic Con, and he's the sweetest person going and everything. So I'm like, for him to be in this movie, I thought it was first a comedy drama. But from what I'm seeing, it's a crime thriller film based on the same name book by Darren Aronofsky. I cannot pronounce this. Aronof Sky, Aronofsky, and a screenwriter, Charlie Hudson, based on the book of the same name. It's got Austin Butler, Regina King, Zoe Kravitz, Matt Smith, Levi Streisberg, Vincent D'Onofrio, and I even worked with him on Law and Order. This is like one of the movies I was watching it, and I'm like, what the hell happened? In a whole type of situation. Like, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I think it's more like a crime thriller comedy because of all the stuff that Matt gets away with in this movie and stuff, especially driving a car with a very particular license plate and everything. So I say it's worth checking out and stuff, but he keeps changing. He is like morphing into. It's his version of the Doctor. He keeps morphing into a new version of himself.
Well, he's multi-talented, but it's like, I can't see him with the mohawk. I
swear when I saw the trailers and everything, it was like you would never think he would go for this, but he said he had fun on set and everything was like, especially the car. He had Margaret Thatcher little statue on the car, and it was like we can't put the car on because of the pun that's in the license plate, and it will spoil the thing and stuff. But plus we don't want YouTube to take us down because we're so early into the thing and stuff. So yeah, but otherwise it was shot here in New York. They loved it, and it's a take on things. It was a well-awaited film because it was in production for a while, and they finally just got the green light to release it. So hopefully it makes big at the box office, but it was released August 29th of this year. And I'm hoping, because those are two good actors that you got to watch out for, especially him playing Elvis also, and the Shannara Chronicles, as well as our own Doctor. And a cat. It's got a pet alert. It's got a pet alert, like a cat.
I remember he was in, I think, Sense and Sensibility and Zombies.
Yep.
And I loved him in that one. He was just hysterically funny. It was just like, he was a total chauvinist, and it was just funny.
This is totally like...
But he wasn't even in it long enough to like do anything. I was just like,
this time he's going to be in it long enough that it's just a comedy of errors. I'm going to put it this way, but they say it's a crime thriller, but I don't know. From what I'm seeing in the trailer, it could be, it could not be. I'm thinking more comedy, crime thriller, like a combo of everything, like dramedy and all that stuff. This is probably
Did you say Matt Smith is the one who's going to have the mohawk?
Yeah, he's yeah.
I need to see that Mad Hawk. I need to see the Mad Hawk, and we got to make it our logo. Hashtag Mad Hawk. Let's get it trending.
That's a hashtag.
I know you can't necessarily see the screen properly there, Sean, but it's up on the screen right now, the poster. And you can see it on the poster. Come back when you have it.
That's our new logo right there.
Yeah, and I love how it says 2 Russians, 2 Jews, and a Puerto Rican walk into a bar. So you know this is not for kids.
Yeah.
So no. So don't take your kids to see the Doctor. This is not the Doctor. This is basically something that is like going to make you laugh, especially with this cat.
The regeneration's gone horribly wrong.
So, basically.
This is Matt Smith's Valley Yard.
But that's basically all the news we have right now, because like I said, everybody's rehashing old news, and the only news we had was, like I said last week, the Land and the Sea will be in January, but they're not giving a date. They're just giving a year of 2026. So that's basically the news, and it'll give us more time to focus on Halloween here and stuff. And hopefully we get to, like you said, special guests and things and all the fun stuff coming up this September and October.
Yeah. And speaking of Halloween, since we started this is the first time we started Halloween early in September. We just put out the Traveling TARDIS poll. I'm just trying to take that down there. For our friends who celebrate Halloween, when do you officially start? And let's ask the crew out here. The question was September 1st or earlier. 43% said yes, they do it early in the year. October 1st and later, 43%. And people who only celebrate on the actual day, nobody picked that one. And we just had a small percentage that said they don't celebrate Halloween. And Candyman, how weirdos. We talk about this every year. How?
Oh, that's right. England, that's different.
Yeah, England is getting bigger every year. It's getting more and more. But when I was a kid, it was hardly around.
Do they do haunted houses now and stuff?
We've got haunted houses every day of the year. Not special.
That's true.
I almost did a spit take. Don't do that.
So true.
What they tend to do sometimes is like their haunted maze corn fields. So they will do like a maze, like make a maze out of cornfields.
Yeah.
And they have like people jump scare you on farms and stuff like that. But apart from that, the shop's already got both Halloween and Christmas stuff in the UK already. So it's like we got schools go back in the UK this week. So you got all school gear, all Halloween gear, and Christmas gear in the supermarkets.
Mark, isn't it called fancy dress for Halloween, not costuming?
Yeah, fancy dress.
Okay, that's what I thought, because that's what confused me when I was out there, when I saw a shop that was a costume shop, and they go, no, it's a fancy dress shop.
Yeah. Because it's a bit fancy dressing up.
Oh, I want to add this on. Timescale says, and don't let your kids watch Redneck Doctor Who. Did anybody see this YouTube video? Somebody sent it to me.
I couldn't get through it. I was cracking up too much.
It was, it's what do they call it? Hard. It was like,
yeah.
Wow. Like,
I have to watch it later when parents aren't home.
Exactly. And they've done this with all the other TV shows. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Star Trek, Game of Thrones has a redneck version. And it was just like, yeah, as soon as I watched it, I said somebody really did a good job, which is scary because they really got detailed into this with it. I think if you find it, I think you can just type in Doctor Who Redneck and you'll find it. But the video's out there. I'll post it on the Traveling TARDIS Facebook page for everybody to see. But I was just like, wow. Billy says, I always celebrate Halloween on the 30th and 31st. Yeah, I know there's some people who just do it on the day of. Nico Pat said,
I do it all year round, have you noticed?
Some people do that, but it's just like when people start getting the celebration, it's just like, wow. And it's been getting earlier and earlier. I mean, even like, what is it? Walt Disney World. They start in mid to late August. So I'm just like, okay, so.
Well, Botanical Gardens just started with A Nightmare Before Christmas again. That event I went to last time that I showed you guys and everything, which I'm going again on my birthday and stuff. And they just started now. And people are saying, oh my God, Halloween. And I said, yep, Halloween in September. So everybody's starting early.
Can I ask you a question, Christian?
Yeah.
What about America celebrating Day of the Muertos?
I'm sorry. What was the last one?
The Day of the Muertos, the Spanish Day of the Dead.
November 1st or
no? First is All Saints Day, and second is the Day of the Dead.
All Souls Day.
They put it together on those days because my cousins are Puerto Rican and they celebrate on the second.
Yeah, I'm just saying, is it big over in the US?
I would say it's known because when you go out to the stores, and especially one of my favorite things is to go to like an At Home or Home Depot or what is it, Michael's, or one of those department stores. They have like At Home. At Home is a huge select.
I love that store.
Huge selection of Halloween stuff, but it's kind of in the mix. So it's kind of mixed in there with the Halloween stuff. So I don't know if people know it as much. I think that, like you said, it was more, was it a Mexican holiday?
Mexican, yeah, it's more Mexican.
Yeah, it's more of a Mexican staple, but you see some of the sculptures and the statues and especially the skeleton heads. They're paint with these bright colors, so it's aware. I don't know if people.
It's big here in the Bronx. I'll tell you that.
I think people are aware of it, but it's kind of mixed in there. It's kind of like saying fall and Thanksgiving are kind of mixed in together, because they have one thing to do with the other. But I was just like, but you don't necessarily see. You see pumpkins and you see turkeys. They kind of blend in together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like in Spain, when I was living out in Spain, it was on, but it wasn't that massive. It's definitely more of a Mexican thing than a Spanish thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in the UK, there's a lot more Day of the Dead, which is at the same time as Halloween. So they put like Day of the Dead events on for Halloween. Does that make sense in the UK?
Yeah. Timescale says Candyman Day. Candyman Day of the Dead. This is Candyman Day of the Dead. We've just named a holiday after you, dude. It's actually quite large in Texas and California, but these two states have large Hispanic and Mexican populations.
Same here in the Bronx. That's why it's popular here too. Yeah.
Which is really fun, festive parades, and quite common. And Nicobad adds to a Day of the Dead is hard to find by itself. Yes, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. It usually is mixed up in with Halloween in some form or fashion. So if you like see this big, huge merchandise area of Halloween, then the Day of the Dead may be like a 16th of it in there somewhere. It's spread out. I love the sugar skulls and the cat.
Oh, those are good.
Yeah,
what are those?
The sugar skulls I like.
If you guys ever took Spanish class as well, a lot of you probably had some sort of celebration of that in your class, although it was probably a highly Americanized version of that as well.
I've kind of seen it, but it's just like we know it's there. It's kind of like the cousin of Halloween. We know it's there, but
yeah,
Halloween takes shape over that for whatever reason.
That's fine. Like I said, in the UK, it's like it's becoming Day of the Dead's becoming more popular.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate as well, like Americans celebrate that as well. But I mean, I was talking specifically about like American Spanish teachers who don't directly celebrate. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mark. I'm sorry. It's just I wanted to throw that in.
That's fine. I just know that at Halloween time, it's candy corn, and I still love candy corn.
And it's also the Egyptians celebrate the same day too, Day of the Dead, because some of my friends, I just wanted to confirm it, but they do too. So November 2nd looks like it's the universal Day of the Dead for everybody that celebrates that holiday. Which is not bad. It's representing all family members that have passed.
Yeah. And I want to add this. Billy Covington Jr. says, we have spirit stores all over the place that celebrates Halloween.
Did you guys see the Joanne store that got a Spirit Halloween logo on it?
Lucky.
That's scary.
Just I don't know if it happens where you're at, Candyman, but where we're at, Spirit Halloween will start taking shape around the end of August and start. But what they do is they'll take up stores for about 3 months that no longer exist. So if there's a store like Joann's Fabrics went out of business, they'll actually around August they'll go over there, set up shop, use the store for about 3 months, sell merchandise, and then they leave. And the running joke is like when Cracker Barrel changed its logo, there was just a few weeks later, there was a sign above Cracker Barrel that said Spirit Halloween. So it was an indication of usually when a store is about to go out of business.
Yeah,
that a Spirit Halloween store will come. Also the movie Naked Gun, when their department was supposed to go into closure, they put up a sign that said Spirit Halloween. So
the logo of Spirit is like that skeleton man. So it's almost like the Grim Reaper of failing retail.
Right, okay.
Hey, they had to set in before the DMV is going to move into the new place and everything. That was the funniest part I saw.
Oh, if the DMV is coming for your store, then you're totally screwed.
But that's anything else cool, Christian, coming about, or?
I'm just running through the chats real fast because we have a little talk. Timescale says homemade candy and food is a large part of the Day of the Dead, where the neighbors will give you homemade delicious things. You also, you gave me kudos. A cousin of Halloween is a good way of putting it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Rose Kirby, hello and good afternoon and good evening. Hope everybody's had a great weekend and it's going to enjoy September. We want to wish everybody who, we didn't say it last week, but we want to wish everybody who celebrated Happy Labor Day, which took place yesterday. So
That's really weird. Is Labor Day equivalent to our May Day then?
It's supposed to be a day off for people who have like worked or something, the way it was explained to me, that because of the 12-hour shifts that they used to work and the labor laws.
Right.
And we also have parades and stuff to celebrate various labor forces and Teamsters and stuff like that.
Okay, we don't have Labor Day in the UK, but we have May Day, which is in May, obviously, which is for like people like working force, but it's not big. It's just a day off of work.
Yeah, it's really most places. That's all it is for Labor Day too.
Do you have it in May or do you have it in?
Ours was also this weekend.
Yeah,
Right.
Yesterday.
It's May Day. Is that May the 5th?
Yes.
So is
After
that
May
like
the
the same
4th.
as Cinco de Mayo?
No, it's like the first Monday of May normally. It's not a dedicated with our bank holiday.
Okay.
and not May the 4th as well.
May
They
the 4th,
fall
yes.
on Monday. So
I'm sure everybody's getting hammered on that day anyway. So
No, we were,
Take a hammer.
Ray Day.
yeah, the only thing they had this weekend was they had the Labor Day, and they had I think it was the West Indy Parade as well, or it's one of them, the culture parades. So they did it all at like different areas. Queens had something, and Manhattan had something.
Parades rock. I love parades. I think we can't have too many holidays. We cannot have too many days off of work, and we can't have too many like festivals.
Believe it or not, Spain's got the most holidays off. I think they have about 34 days because they have national holidays and local holidays.
Those people know how to live. Those people know how to live.
Gang,
Yes.
we got to go to Spain.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't even get one day at the DMV, even though I had other days off. But those days I was working too, so it was like, how could I, 30?
It is annoying, like when you're in Spain and it's a local holiday, and so you try to ring a company up. Oh, they're closed because they've got their local holiday, and they won't be opening to like next week. And then you got like, oh, but we're now on holiday the week after that, so you just don't get to speak to anyone outside your town with on local holidays.
Did they have tea
Yeah.
time too, like England?
How do you
Where
mean
they shut down for a couple hours at like 4:00?
Oh, it's siesta time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Spain has siesta. England doesn't do that.
They don't do that?
No, we're 9 to 5.
Oh, wow. So I always thought the same thing. Tea time meant you stopped for a little bit and everything.
Oh, no, that's only with rich people. No, we're just 9 to 5 most days.
So
It's
Italy.
like Dolly said.
Yeah.
Working 9 to 5.
Way to make a living.
Oh wait, oops, I won't sing that. Sorry. You're on YouTube.
Anyway, we are. Yeah. If any of us sound like Dolly Parton, I'm quitting my job. Anyway, the Traveling TARDIS Days to Halloween's already started. So after this episode, after you watch this, check it out. Check out the shorts that are coming almost on a daily basis when I put them out there, and the new pictures coming up from Halloween Horror Nights, as well as hopefully we get in a couple of weeks the Ancient CityCon, and wherever the Traveling TARDIS and the Daleks of Florida end up, that's where we're going to be. You're going to see some amazing pictures come out over there. And I'm still loving this one. I'm sorry. I'm just.
That is creepy.
I did not know how well that came out until I did that. I was just like, dude. So
That came out really good.
kudos to me. So that's it.
Good job. So
It's one of those days.
So let's get some ratings, shall we? Christian, let's start with you because you're right next to me.
4 again.
4.
I know I'm going to start out. I'm just being punished.
I'll tell you what. I won't make you start out.
Okay.
Tom, wake up.
Is this the Legend of Traveling TARDIS or Spill the Geek Tea? Because we went off topic.
Yeah, we did. That's
No,
okay.
it was the
Oh my
news.
god.
You've seen how we
Just
work.
on the news.
Okay. Shoot. Dave watched it before the show began. I'm trying to remember from 3 weeks ago. Let me give it. I wasn't as fond of this as the first one. I don't remember what I did with the first one, so I'm just going to say 6.9.
All right. And Candyman?
I'm gonna give it almost what Christian, but I've got to put my points in, so I'm gonna give it a 4.145678
I should have won 8675309.
I hate you guys.
Dude,
I hate you guys. Actually, Dave
Not-
hates you guys.
what was that, Sean? Is that going to be your official rating that I overheard?
What me giggling?
8675309.
No,
me.
I didn't
Oh,
even say
was
that.
Tom.
It was
That
Tom.
was Tom chiming in.
We're
I'm
starting
changing
to
it.
sound like each other.
Dave doesn't know my voice anymore.
Did you ask about my rating, Dave?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.1415. No, I'm gonna give it a.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Ah,
I'm gonna hit it out of the park with a 9.
All right. And Gadget.
oh,
Well, I did this part and everything. A 7.
All right.
Hmm.
I'm going to change it up because Christian doesn't want to go first. So after we come
Go
back
second.
from our commercial break, we'll start at the top. We'll start with Sean.
Woo!
see at the
And work
bottom
our
for
way
those
down.
of you, while we're in the commercial break, go ahead and put your ratings and the reason why you picked the number you picked for Evolution of the Daleks. When we return, we'll be right back. Going to commercial break, and don't forget to help our sponsors out because they're the reasons why our show exists as much as our audience does. So we'll be back.
And then what we found out is when he dropped the load for the huts, he was kind of bearing the lead because he stole it from them too, and then got it. So no one ended up with it. Pissed Jabba off twice, and now he ends up in carbonite. Spoilers for episode 5. Yeah, like I had to think about that. It's like, do we go with 6 on this one? No, 5. Like that's not only is he mad that that he dropped the load, but he stole it from Jabba to begin with. Like that, like
Was he
Ocean's
a thief?
13 when
Is that the story? Is that the Han? Is that the Han story? The from Solo to
could be.
episode 4? Was he a thief or was he a smuggler or what was he?
He was a
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplayer themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
I'm author Mark Muncy,
And I'm author Erica Lance.
and this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Now, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you sent. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now and unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused on sewing clothes. The spell stays unspoken, a dark silhouette of a marked man and broken. Right down, I didn't listen to that voicemail or tick-tock that story you sent. Don't you reel me in to get me back. I'm gonna leave you now.
Hey, Dave, we got one more thing, and I'm happy to announce it. Mark your calendars for, let me get the date out again. I'm sorry. I got everything but the date. It's going to be September the 16th. We have a special guest going on, and this will be taking place at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UK. Ladies and gentlemen, the return of Sophie.
Coming soon on Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, an interview with him, Sean,
and her, Sophie.
There we go, and we're going to be talking about this. So don't miss it.
Sorry, Ace Jacket. The inside story will be interviewing Sophie Aldred and Sean Levy, who wrote together that book, and we'll be talking more about that. And if you want to chat with Sophie live, mark your calendars for the 16th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard, 9 p.m. UK. Sophie Aldred will be on here talking about her new book. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Dave, take it away.
Excellent. We didn't run. Just we didn't run it unless I did. You run my commercial?
Yes.
Happiness Patrol? I stepped away.
That was the second one.
Okay, good. I stepped away, and it wasn't in order this time. That's okay. But yeah, we new episode goes live on Thursday. Woohoo!
I like mixing it up a bit. So
yeah, no, that's fair. That's totally fair. No, I had to step away from the computer for a second, so I didn't realize that. No problem. So we are going to go in reverse order today. Shake things up a little bit. So with a 9, Sean, why did you give it a 9? What worked? What didn't? What kept it from being a 10?
I gave it a 9 because it was good. Thank you very much, everybody. No, and Dave, if they didn't, yeah, right, just drop the mic. Yeah, and if they didn't play the commercial, Dave, I was gonna go. Okay, well, you can give me the paid advertisement spot, and I'll read off the sheet and say, everyone go subscribe to the Happiness Patrol. Find it now, and yeah. But my review or my rating was a 9, and I gave it a 9 because this episode, I think, Evolution of the Daleks, this is a prime example of why back in 22, I think, we got told that Russell was going to come back to Doctor Who. It was 22, right? I believe.
I think so.
Yeah. This episode, I think, is a really good example of why we were also excited for that at the time. Because this story, I think, is quite in line with the best of Russell's writing. Now, sometimes people say that the current era of Doctor Who, as in the Disney era, is sort of identical in quality to Russell's first era, either to deride or prop up the old era or the new era. And while I respect those people's opinion, I vehemently disagree with that. Because to me, this is just quintessential good storytelling. It's dark, it's mysterious, it's gothic. Dare I say, it's almost Shakespearean, I would say, in a lot of its elements in the way it tells its story. So I have to highlight, first and foremost, the actor, and I don't know his name. If any of you guys know it, you can shout it out. But the actor who plays Dalek Sec, I think, in this, is one of the best things about this two-parter. Because he demonstrates this very poignant character arc from being just a normal run-of-the-mill Dalek and having this sort of moral dilemma. And you can see that in what he does, and you can hear it in every word that he says, I think. So it's kind of a standout performance, and it's one of the standout performances, I think, of this season, to tell you the truth. It's a little bit goofy with the way that it gets introduced, but once the actor is allowed to do his thing and you get over the very odd look of the character, I think he actually has something really interesting to say about the human condition and the Dalek condition. Of course, the other elements in the story I like as well. I like the characters. I mentioned last time that this felt sort of like watching one of those old movies that takes place in America. And this time I'll say it is kind of like a play. As I said, it was Shakespearean. You've got characters who are a little bit exaggerated. I like Laszlo. I like Tallulah. And I like the rest of the cast. I especially like Solomon, watching him. And all these characters really... Oh, and the young man that is played by Andrew Garfield as well. And as you're watching the story unfold, you really start to see them, I think, knock down what was set up last time to great effect. Because if you think about things like watching the scene between Solomon and the Daleks, yes, we know and the Doctor knows that Solomon's about to get shot, but at the same time, you can see what's going on in Dalek Sec's head. You can see what's going on in Solomon's head. And it is really heartbreaking and it is tragic. And as well, I mean, even what's going on with the Doctor, I think that's some of the best stuff in this too, because you get to see this internal struggle with this character who more than ever seems very dark and has gone through a lot of trauma, but we can also see a part of him that is highly relatable to us. But he's also a character who has a lot of power, who could do pretty much anything he wanted to. So it's an interesting dynamic with the Doctor, and even stuff down to the pig people, as silly as all of that is. I just think it sort of has these archetypes that it's using to tell this very bombastic story that, when you strip it down, does relate to a lot of elements in the human condition. So I really do enjoy this. There are a couple things I have to ding the episode for. The first thing is that I didn't particularly like the moral discussion around the way that the pig people were killed in the elevator, because Martha Jones says this line like, oh, well, they're human beings and I just killed them. And Laszlo basically says, oh, well, the Daleks killed them. And I'm like, yeah, but you kind of killed them too. I mean, this is a world where pig people are walking around. Not being honest isn't really going to help anybody. So it's kind of a silly thing to ding it for, but it is something I noticed. And the second thing is, yes, this is Doctor Who and their psychobabble, but we've got human beings walking around with Dalek DNA, which inspires me to go, huh? Because they still look like humans. And then the Doctor sends his DNA through an electrical impulse, which, you know, that's not how DNA works, and we all know that. But even putting in some science fiction babble like, oh, I was just transducing my genetic sequence through the binary electrical impulses of the electrical storm. You could have said something like that. That would have given it a little bit more oomph, I think. And even instead of having the Dalek people carrying around the weapons, sort of like Fisher-Price toys, they could have had them maybe fused to their arms or something. You could have had some body horror. So there's just a couple things I think they could have done to give the story a little bit more oomph. But even with all that said, you see in the Doctor's eyes his reaction to the Daleks surviving. And even at the end, when he's getting into the TARDIS in the final moment, saying, I'll face them again someday. It is Shakespearean, because he's kind of giving his soliloquy there before the end credits roll. And I think it's very nicely done, and it's just what we loved about the show back then. So because of all that, I have to give it a 9.
No, that's a stunningly wonderful defense of a 9. Not that you have to defend your opinion, but
I do. I think I do, because I could just do what I did earlier and say, it's good, goodbye. I didn't want to do that.
Yes. Explaining yourself is good,
Yeah.
but you don't have to defend yourself or your role.
However, you wouldn't be wrong if you just said that.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like it, and that's it. And what else are you gonna do about it?
Right. But I really appreciate that, Dave.
Next up, we've got Gadget at a 7. Gadget, what hit, what missed?
Well, it got cheesy for me after and everything. Like, they were talking about playing God, basically. And, like, what would you do if you have emotions added to something that had emotions taken away? And what decisions would you make based on now finding this new emotion called compassion, caring, and understanding, and then realize that you're getting killed by your cohorts because you actually learned how to feel and everything. So that was what was like the downfall of everything on me with that, because it was like a Dalek that finally figured out how to compare, like, care about things and understand that they were doing might be wrong. They're playing God. They had shells because they made everybody brain dead, and they were taking experiments like, you know, what could we say? Like, what doctor was experimenting on dead bodies? Frankenstein, you know, and everything. But isn't Frankenstein a metaphor for other things too? What was this a metaphor for? I'm thinking it's like, who is really in charge? What does compassion do once you receive it? What do you see from the other side or another person's view of something? You know, are we really like animals inside? Are we humans? What are we based on our genetic codes and everything? And every neuron has a spark of electricity, and maybe by the solar flare, and because he's not human, but he's an alien as well, we don't know what the Time Lord physiology really goes through. He could have passed his DNA through to everybody to counteract the negativity of the Daleks and sent compassion through. Yes, sci-fi way, but it's a thought. Like, are you given a choice to make a decision, or are you your choice is taken away because someone genetically removed it from you? It's like dealing with people who have, I'll say it, learning disabilities or anything. If they play with your DNA, are they going to remove that? And does that make you less compassionate or less what you would have been, like what your skill would have been and stuff? But in this, they were trying to make another race to survive, but in the process brought back their humanity, which they got destroyed because they didn't want to see the humanity in things. And he was trying to give a little bit of humanity to the people to make a decision when they were fighting. And it could have been a new race that could have continued the Daleks on, but the Daleks didn't want people with compassion or humanity. They just wanted force-driven war type ideology. And you can't blame them on some things, you can't blame them on the other, because when you lose your compassion, what else is left?
Victory.
And devastation.
Extermination.
Mm-hmm.
All the good things, you know.
Yeah, but that's why it got cheesy after all, because the same thing, like I said, in the past episode that we were reviewing, the Empire State Building still has a wonky thing around it that messes with phones and radiation. So I don't know if they're playing off of that when they were making this with the solar flare coming down, or if there's still a piece of Dalek still up there or whatever. But there is some lore around the Empire State Building and everything. When it was being built, it has this weird essence and aura and electrical field around it that was around that time and everything, and it's still here to this day. You walk by it and your phone gets messed up, things go a little bit. But then you had Tesla in the Hotel New Yorker living and everything. He was playing with things they found in the basement, and just a lot of crazy stuff that was going on around that time with all the stuff during the 30s and the Prohibition and, you know, things like that, meaning depression and all the other, because it was bad. It was like you had one thing after another, you know, and it's if you don't have compassion, how do you relate to somebody? And Sean took most of what I was going to say too on the other things and stuff, but I'm still focusing on the compassion part, because the doctor was giving compassion because he saw compassion, but then the compassion was taken away.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yep.
And Sean stole all the good things from everybody.
I stole all the things. I'm sorry, guys.
all of it.
That's what the hardest part is staying. It's usually I can go next.
Yes.
But usually that's why we're building up. Take all the bad stuff, throw it out there, and then hopefully all the good stuff kind of meshes out from what the first and second person say. So I don't mind going next if you want me to, Dave.
All right. We'll start at one end. We'll go back to the other end, and work our way back up. Kristen, go for it.
You were talking about cheese, and then there's Velveeta, and it just got really. It just
that scene we don't talk about.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like,
that's up there with Sophie's scene.
Okay, I'll just say it. The human penis man.
Yeah. With jewelry on it.
And by the way, the Sean, the gentleman, the actor's name is Eric Lowen.
Okay, thank you.
Who does Dalek Sec? I thought this was really, really a good attempt. I could see what they were doing with that, but we already had a Dalek episode that kind of already touched it, which was Dalek when Rose fused with the Dalek that was lost in the last of the Time War. And I get this. I understand what they were trying to do here, and like I said, in the last episode, it's not a bad episode. I just don't like it. It's not one in my top 200 list that if it's on, I'll watch it. If it's on in casual passing, I'll watch it. But it's not something I would say, okay, Christian, we're going to watch Doctor Who tonight. Pick an episode. This would not be on the top list. And I thought it was just a little bit too hokey for itself. I mean, like you said, like you mentioned, there is cheese when it comes to Doctor Who, and it's kind of campy and fun. But my God, I just like this. I think it just took it a little bit to the far. I saw what you were saying, Sean and Gadget, about the areas that they were trying to do, but I thought it was just poorly executed. Already the Dalek Sec looks weird, and I meant like
those are the silence fingers.
What's that?
They're the silence fingers. That's why they recycled them too, because I couldn't.
Possibly. I mean, I they could have picked anything to make him look half Dalek, half human, and that was where they went. And I'm just like,
no.
I love that there are so many episodes of Doctor Who that saying this is not in my top 200 Doctor Who episodes. We all listen. We're like, that's not too bad.
This is Doctor Who After Dark. This is Doctor Who After Dark.
Well, I mean, there's 800 episodes, so it's not going to be in the top 200. So
right.
Yeah, it's a safe number to say now. I can say, well, I've got 200 episodes.
But saying that it's not in the top 200 is not like uniquely like an insult. That's how many episodes of Doctor Who.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's in there. Like I said, it's in there. I'll watch it. If it's on TV, I'll scan it. I mean, it was just not one of my favorites. It had a lot of potential. I think just some of the execution was just poorly done. I really want, and this was an episode I really wanted to like, and maybe it's also where the time frame took in New York in the Great Depression. It was just you could have picked anything, anywhere, anytime. But I thought that was a cool idea. Well, the Empire State Building is part of the story. Somehow I'm working in it. Dalekanium, I think, is pretty cool now that we have a name for the metal that the Daleks use, and it's and the guys in the construction site were like, "What the hell is this?" And the final scene where this scene, I mean, David Tennant really plays well. He really chews up the scene in everything that he does as the 10th Doctor. He really knows how to navigate everything, from whether it's going to be the death of his daughter to hearing the 4 knocks from Wilf. Then you come to this scene and baptize me scene. And
that's what. Look at the way he's looking in the corner in the background, like, get me out of this scene.
It's like, well, they pay me now, so the humans going, why should we shoot them? Like, yeah, they're finally getting their humanity back. It's just like that one little inch of. I just really like the concept of what they were trying to accomplish, and especially at the end. I think the weirdest part was the ending, and this is me being nitpicky. The Doctor couldn't put him back into human form? Really? With everything that he knows and the knowledge of everything that he's been through? I'm sure he's seen conversions.
Didn't he do that in Are You My Mummy? Like, didn't they fix that?
No. Yeah. What was it? The nanobots?
Yeah.
He goes back and gets the nanobots.
Yeah, I was just like, wait a minute. I mean, like, you can't change him back? Really? Okay. I guess, well, it's a thing, or the story has to move, or the story doesn't work here. But I'm sure those two will never have to eat bacon again. And that's it.
Christian, do you mind if I ask is there something that you would have done differently? That's not a challenge. I mean, it's just, I talked about that a little bit, things I might have done a little different. Like, is there something that you would have changed, like a big change?
That's a very good question.
That was wrong.
I don't know. This is something I would probably have to sit down and think about. I don't know if I would have used the pigmen more off of it. I would have cleaned it up a bit there. I understood what they were trying to do, but I think they would have been like Dalek drones, like we've seen in Classic Who, where they mind manipulated people. I don't know if I would have put the pig people in there.
And the salad bowl people with the salad bowls over their
exactly. I would have been a little bit I understood what they were trying to do, and I think, like I said, this is something I can criticize, but now I'm in the you put me in the quarterback's position. Now you play, Christian. I'm just like, yeah, it's not that easy, but I think I would have cleaned it up a little bit less Velveeta.
Less Velveeta,
a little bit more, a bit more serious, but it was still fun. That's a good part. I did like Solomon. I did like the individual characters. Maybe even focused on them a little bit more, so that when we got to the climax, I just feel like, oh, there's Solomon, and he's the inspiration. He's the leader. He's putting things together, and he gets offed, within the first 5 minutes by the Daleks. That's it. So I think it just needs polishing. I would have to sit there for a while and think about it, but like I said, it's
Christian, you think it'll play well in this time? Like, say, if someone had to redo it for this time?
You mean as is?
Like, if they saw it as is and they go, okay, let's make it now 2025 version. Like, if they did another story on it.
Possibly. I mean, there are a lot of stories I'd love to see. I mean, one of which is an episode called Delta and the Bannermen, and I was an advocate. I know nobody loved that episode. There was, some people really detest it. I said, I want to see what Bannermen look like in 2025. I'm sure they're going to be more hardcore. They're going to look like more like 80s post-apocalyptic people, more grungier than they did in that episode. We're talking about 1980s tech and costuming and all that, when the series didn't even have much of a budget. But to give it a chance, I would love to see somebody's reinterpretation. Maybe it could be better. I don't know.
And that's completely fair. I mean, just because, it's hard to just be like, well, this is exactly the new script. It's like, just because you maybe haven't sat down and done that doesn't mean that your opinion is any less valid. So that's completely fair.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I will be more than happy. Like all opinions I have of every episode, I will be more than happy to talk it and have a reasonable discussion. But 800 some odd episodes, you're going to have a few hundred misses, and I feel like this is one of them. That's all.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, your rating was not that much lower than Mark's. Mark at his. I'm going to round your number off. 4.145678
Okay, that's
except that can't actually. Nope, sorry, that doesn't. With the 10 in there, that brings us to 4.1245679.
Is that your rounded number, Dave?
That's
He's
the
always rounded up to just 2 decimal places.
It's 4.1.
Good.
Right. So I fell asleep in me rewatching it. And so I tried to watch it again. And halfway through it, I just switched off. To me, I just didn't find it engaging enough. When I first watched it, I probably really enjoyed it. But the special effects are too much. It was too much blue screen. Like where the set was and the skyline of Manhattan, they need to probably redo the special effects to make it a little bit more gellable. And Martha comes to the realization that she's a rebound girl in this episode. It's like, yes, love, we know you didn't see it. And I just thought, yeah, that's not great. Solomon was a good character. Like the rest of the guys said, I think they should have done a little bit more story, more backstory, like how he became in charge. So you actually come to actually love the character and then get to see him get killed. I think might be a little bit better way of doing it. For Pigmen, that's just like, Because the thing is like, oh, if you are not intelligent, you become a pig man or a bacon sandwich.
It's almost dinner time over here, dude.
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's midnight over here. This is just like midnight snacking. One of the things I thought was really, really, I can understand why they did it, but I thought it was the most cheesiest thing ever. These were the Daleks having a conversation about Dalek Sec. And they're saying, do they like, what do you think of Dalek Sec? Is he a Dalek anymore? Should we follow things? But what they did was, I'm going to turn my eyes talk around behind me just to check that no one else is listening before I carry on with this conversation. They are Daleks. They have programs. They're half cybernetic cyborgs, which are with alien stuff on it. I'm sure they'll be able to sense something that's coming behind them for a conversation, stuff like that. I just thought, why did they do that? It was so cheesy. Sorry, that was why I've dropped it down a lot, because of that. Like, you wouldn't. Daleks don't check for other people. Daleks don't care about other people. If they see another person, they will just literally exterminate them. I do like the reference to Dalek Canyon. I thought that was a good shout out to the classic show, because believe it or not, Dalek Canyon was actually first mentioned in 1964 in the metals. Yeah, it's Dalek Canyon is a very, very old terminology for the metal of Daleks. And I also like about these new Time War Daleks in fusion with humans. Spoilers. With human DNA, because in a late episode it sort of hex back to the Dalek Civil War, which we see in Remembrance of Daleks, where one Daleks is pure Daleks and the other Daleks are basically blobs with bits. And because the Daleks are quite how do I say, Puritan, that they don't like each other. And so you can imagine Daleks inbreeding with humans, they're just going to cause even more thing about it. Which, in another episode, which I don't understand, is it the Dalek Parliament, where they have all the different Daleks all trying to get along with each other? And I just can't see how that would work, because they would just like your color is wrong, or you've got your too many Dalek spheres around you, so you're not accepted, which led to more civil war. But that's another episode, and we'll probably review that at a later date. On the whole, I don't think the Pigman was just. I don't know if they used a different alien. I know they were trying to do genetic experiments, and they are a skeleton crew. It was what's it called? Skaro, Cult of Skaro. Cult of Skaro, and they're basically all the rest of the Daleks have been sucked up in the vortex. They're on their own. They haven't got much in. They've gone back to the 1930s. They haven't got the right technology, so they're trying to experiment on what they could do. And I can understand why they could basically only create pigment. I understand that. It doesn't... I think it's dated itself in its special effects. And I think that's probably my biggest flaw with this episode.
Reminds me of the Goonies.
No.
Was the Goonies better, or was this better?
Goonies were a lot better. Yeah. Even Flight of the Navigator special effects was a lot better than this.
Ouch.
Oh.
I just think the special effects is just dated. I think they've used too much blue screen on this, which made it look dated.
Remind me, didn't we last time we saw the Daleks? Didn't we also have a Pigman, or have we had Daleks without Pigman before that? In between. This was not the first Pigman. Last Pigman was also Daleks. So I can't help wondering if that. Sorry, what was that?
Ogrons.
Ogrons, yes.
They
They're
weren't
the
pigmen,
Daleks.
they're Ogrons.
They're not really pigmen. They're
Like, more like drillers.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's what they were going for.
I actually would argue they look a little bit like if they could be cousins of the Centaurans in a weird way.
Is that because you want bacon sandwiches and chips now?
Yes.
Yes.
And potatoes. It's cheese and potato.
I'll have a baked potato with sour cream and bacon, please.
Yes, I've had. This is a Philly. Provolone is better on cheese. Yeah, I will die on that hill. Provolone is a hell of a lot better on a cheesesteak. So,
I
yes.
could have made a chicken cheese sandwich by now.
Dang it, you
I
people
want
are making me hungry. Damn it.
Yeah. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Prepared because of you guys.
All right, Tom. Don't bring up food.
They took my hand.
There we go.
Oh God.
Just don't bite the head. Oh, he took the head off.
I took the head off.
Thank God.
So let's see.
So you gave
Evil the
Tom, you
Daleks
gave it a
was when we had.
6.9.
Yeah, sorry, that was a. Yeah, 6.9. So, Evil the Daleks when we first had our human Daleks, Dalek Alpha, Dalek Beta, something like that. So that's been used. The pigmen imitating Ogrons. So from gorillas to pigs. Spider-Man's grandfather appears on very nice leadway. Because I liked it. I liked the first one because this is interesting. I never would have considered the one-eyed monster. That's the gadget put down. Or as
My dark side, sorry.
Or as Christian actually said, the word. It's like, is that allowed? No.
But he has one eye and he's a monster.
So it's a
We're allowed.
flying
Is
purple
this
people.
part supposed to say this is for scientific or whatever or educational purposes?
Yeah. Just my dark side snuck in a little bit. Sorry.
Never even considered that. That's like it's like the bits and pieces of the past, and like, okay, it's in here and there, and then all of a sudden we have the Frankenstein experiment, which also kind of reminded me of the movie Coma from the late 70s, where all these people were in a coma, and it went through the mall, and they had this big shop with the TVs and the records, and there was a scene in it. I was like, wait a minute, I'm such a young kid, and I'm seeing this woman go on the one-eyed monster. So all these little bits and pieces, trying to make.
I think they're censoring him. Or Princess Penelope got him.
Said the P word.
So bits and pieces trying to say, oh, look, it's something new. So, okay. The idea Skaro must expand, must learn, must these things. So it's like, well, you're laughing at. So okay, it was interesting, but the Frankenstein coma situation, bringing these people back and hybrids here and there. Obviously, they're not going to be alive. That's that Doctor Who. It's only be one time, or there's only one. So there's only one Highlander. Again, I watched this 3 weeks ago after watching it for so long, and it kind of bored me. It's like, okay. So the general idea, I guess, was right. When Sec was like, we need to further the race. Did not mention Khaled, which is like you're essentially trying to become Khaleds again, which I understood. And the others were like, no, screw you. We don't want you here anymore. Well, this is stupid. We're gonna do things our way. It's like, okay, there's only 4 of you left. Why are you doing this crap to him? I don't know. So it's an interesting attempt at something, but again, this story was a Frankenstein doing something from this story, that
I'm just
story.
laughing at Andrew's faces in the background in some scenes.
Yeah.
That's his profile shot. Hey.
He looks like he smelled a fart.
Yeah, he smells David's fart.
Continue. Continue.
Now I get.
I'm just being gross.
That smell. So, yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
It was okay, but it wasn't top list for things. But again, for people that don't know the history, they say, "Oh, look at this, that idea, that idea, that idea." But as Dave once said a couple weeks ago, too many cooks. I felt the same thing as too many little subplots trying to put together a story. And for me, it was just a little too convoluted. I think that's the right word. A bit sleepy and a bit hungry for it. So you know what? I'm gonna grab a slice of cheese.
I think that's a good analogy. That there all these little subplots and characters are kind of on their own island, and they're trying to gel together, and they're not. It's not working out over there because you do have the pigmen. And speaking of pigmen, Kitchen Killer's barbecue sauce is on sale right now for $14 a bottle. And you can get it for 10% off.
Second spit take you almost got. I know you guys.
I need a bunch of barbecue sauce. So there you go. It goes.
Hey, what are you doing to poor Laszlo?
Bags, bacon.
My Laszlo. And another thing.
I swear, Tallulah. I figured this out. Tallulah got old, somehow got transported to the far future, and met a guy named Benny. Benny!
Oh God! No.
My Benny! Laszlo!
No,
My
I
Laszlo!
would end her now.
What part of shut up or you're gonna get us killed is hard for you to understand, woman.
So can I have a show of hands, or maybe a voice vote? Who likes Tallulah in this panel?
She's Betty Boopy cute.
I like her better in the second episode than I did in the first.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I wasn't sure if we were going to get a all in favor, aye, all opposed, nay. Who keeps saying that?
Generally speaking, nay.
Yeah.
I just like the actress because Miranda Raison is somebody who actually ends up being in Big Finish as another character to the Sixth Doctor, and I like her.
And you'd never recognize her.
And you never recognize her. She looks nothing or acts like or does anything like Tallulah in the Big Finish series. She's a completely different person. You're just like, wow, that's actually her. She doesn't even look like her.
You know what I need? I need a spin-off with Tallulah and Henry Van Staten from Dalek, and the kid who, when you snap your fingers, his brain opens up from the Floor 500 thing. The three of them just need to have their own like spin-off. I would watch that show. Call it the you guys would maybe call it like the insufferable side characters thing. I do not think that Tallulah is insufferable, but it could work. I don't know. I really like her accent. It's like, especially when she's like, "Doctor, ain't you gonna do something?" Like it was just like that was.
She played it well, and I like it. She was a little bit companionish, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she stood her own ground, even with everything that's going on, which I would think it would be the opposite. And at the end, it's just like, with everything that happened, she still stuck it out with Laszlo, even though I don't think they're going to go to,
what, the butchers?
The barbecue.
1930s.
Sorry, about barbecue. Yeah,
I reached for it. I almost reached for this.
1930s New York Astrid.
I'll
Make it
make a
happen.
peace sandwich now.
Yeah, but Astrid was better. Okay, I'm not going to say the next sentence. It's Kylie Minogue, so.
Well, I thought that Tallulah was attractive. She was cute.
Yeah. Oh, she was attractive. She was cute. She was perfectly. She was everything they intended her to be.
And she had moxie.
Yeah, she had moxie.
Yeah.
But she didn't have any. She didn't have the moxie in the first. She had a little bit, but again,
That's
whole.
when she had the gun.
Yeah, when she had the gun, she had some moxie. And then we got down to the sewers, and yeah, she's like, she's gonna get people killed because she won't shut up about Laszlo.
Exactly. Well, I meant she was. I guess it was character development that was too rushed. Maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, like she literally, her character had to be thrown into it, as opposed to she kind of developed along the way and got used to it. But I mean, it's just like it was such a fast transition. It was like,
At least she stayed in her accent.
Yeah. Did you guys, by the way, did any of us talk about the music? I meant to talk about the music and the cinematography as well, and I never did that. But what did you guys think of the music in this episode?
It was good. Mark. I mean, Murray Gold always does amazing music.
I mean, he did make the Dugadoo. I mean,
Oh God.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he always does amazing music.
yeah.
He did the Doctor Forever
and this-
theme in
no,
this
it
one.
was good.
too.
I am ending this episode right now. I'm putting this episode in
What is
the
it? Me and Dave love
Right
Dugadoo,
now.
okay? We
Yeah.
I'm waiting for New York Comic Con because if I see one crocheted, I don't care. I'm broke, but I am getting a crocheted one.
But I felt a lot like that was one of the good things. It was a really well shot episode.
Here's your review, Dave. Go for it.
Yep, exactly. I agree. It was definitely a well shot episode. I'm flip flopping. I'm going to give it a 6.5. I gave it 6 last week or last episode. I was waffling between 6 and 7
Waffle.
for this one because I did like it better. But I think I'm only going to go for a 6.5. And that's not that it's a bad episode. It's a perfectly fine episode. I like all of the elements of this show. Like this episode, I don't mind how Dalek Sec looks.
Oh my God.
I don't mind. Yeah, but I don't mind the Dalek humans. I don't love the Dalekanium, but I hate that less knowing that was a throwback that most people missed, including myself.
Really?
I just felt that was a little bit cheesy. I didn't love that the Doctor's yanking on this metal plate at the top of the Empire State Building because he dropped his Sonic. I didn't love that.
Well, we're just going to cut out that audio and play that in a loop.
Yeah.
Just a simple innuendo that just went right out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this episode is innuendos.
A little bit. I don't mind the design of Dalek Sec. I think I can't see what else they would have done short of turning him into Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. I can't imagine.
That was better than this.
Of course it was. They had a much higher budget. And this was practical. That's the thing. Like, this was practical effects. That was a mask.
Mhm.
That wasn't CGI.
Do you really think they needed to convert him and make him look like that? Or do you think they could just implemented the two minds together and just kept him human?
Like they did with the people in the theater.
Yeah, and how well did that work? I don't mind that they made him half human and combined the two. I really don't. I was more upset that he swallowed the suit and then somehow came out wearing the suit. You know, that threw me off a little bit. But
That part was just wrong.
that was just a bit weird. But I don't mind. Except all of this episode should be a 9 for me.
Speaking of swallowing,
Should be.
don't forget to get more Get Together barbecue sauce.
The
hell?
Sorry. Plug that away.
But no, this should be a 9 for me. Every element of this episode I love, but when it all goes together, somehow I didn't love it. You know, I'd love to see Andrew Garfield come back. I'm glad he got into Doctor Who at some point before he really.
Well, they can't afford him now.
No, they can't afford him now. Not at all. But it would be kind of cool to have him come back for some reason, even if they went back to come to 1940s New York and have his character come back. I would love to see that.
Doctorverse.
Do you think maybe I'm going to put this on Sean and Dave? Do you think maybe it was too disconjointed because we had so many great characters? The problem is they were not cohesive. They were like their own little thing. Could we have just had an episode and it was just Solomon and he was the leader of the group and it had nothing to do with, the Empire State Building and just focus on them, or focus on Andrew's character, or focused on Tallulah and Laszlo?
I can see
felt
that.
like I just feel like maybe with having too many characters, it kind of threw it maybe off a little bit.
I don't really agree with that because I think they were more archetypes and they served, like Solomon was there to show the resilience of the city and the brutality of the Daleks, right? Tallulah was there to show the human element. Laszlo helped humanize the pig people, not just for the sake of doing it, but to make a more broad point about what the Doctor's trying to tell Dalek Khan at the end. By the way, I forgot to say I would love a clip of Kirk going Khan right there when he disappears. But the point that the Doctor's trying to make to Dalek Khan at the end, I mean, I think they're cohesive, even though maybe their stories didn't all get fleshed out like we're used to seeing in a good show like Doctor Who. I think the broader points they were trying to make with regard to the Doctor and his relationship to the Daleks and what he's seeing the Daleks do to humanity, I think every single character played a role.
I don't disagree with that. I think Andrew Garfield could have been omitted. I think
probably
the Andrew Garfield of it is Andrew Garfield. I know him. He's famous now.
We don't even know Andrew Garfield at that time.
Yeah, not at this time. So I mean, at the time, they could have just omitted that character or kept them as a one or two scene sort of a cameo, almost a cameo of someone who that no one knows. But there wasn't a lot of reason to keep him around.
He was kind of there for the worker plot, right? I mean, the reason he was there, I mean, I'm not saying that Christian's saying they didn't have a purpose. I know Christian's saying they had a purpose, but probably they could have been condensed, I think is what Christian's saying, because he was there to help further along the worker subplot. But I mean, you didn't really need to have one of the workers with them.
Maybe not a condense, but I think the word I'm looking for is focus.
Yeah,
it seems like the focus went all over the place, and I think I wanted it more. With the too many characters, then you start to lose the focus. Then you start to lose. Solomon, and then he was just, he did his thing, and he was potentially he was going to be a great leader. I think he should have been around for the very end to have the Hoovervillians, I guess that we can put, and have them rise up against the Daleks. And even though it was a losing fight, I think something like that might have been very climactic at the very end. Because I did, aside from being a good leader and trying to put everything together, and maybe because of his death, everything started to fall apart. I don't know, but I was like, so why did you even have the character together? We fell in love with him. He was awesome. And then he's out. And like you said, Andrew Garfield's character, Frank, I mean, he was in there. I mean, we were having characters, and I was like, okay, are we focusing on them? And I mean, what the good thing about Frank was he was focusing on he was focusing on Martha, so he was like a connection to Martha because they were hitting it off pretty well as far as companions to each other, and that kind of just went to the side. And I was like, as you guys mentioned, Martha was Rebound Girl. I was like, I don't even know why Martha was here except to be the companion. She's the current companion, so she has to be here.
I like that she pointed out that she was the Rebound, though. I think that almost makes it forgivable because, I mean, she is a doctor and she has something to do there. And I like that Martha left of her own accord until they sucked her back into the show.
Yeah.
Like, she's one of the only companions that's ever just like, nah. And I really respect her for that.
Can I ask the Americans in this chat, what do you think of the Frank's accent? Because he wasn't supposed to be from New York. He was supposed to be from Tennessee.
It was not. There was a few moments where he sounded more Southern, but not. I wouldn't have pegged him as Tennessee by any stretch.
I thought it was kind
Brooklyn.
I thought it was kind of putting that Hooverville was a mixture of everybody who lost.
Yeah.
So there was nobody who was, black, white, race, female, male. Nobody was above each other.
Nope.
Right.
In that realm, and everybody was on equal terms. So
you gotta remember, it was a true story.
Everybody
true
was
event in history. Hooverville is a true event in history.
Right.
And these were shanty towns that happened, and everybody came looking for work. And it's mirroring what's happening now. That instead of it being physical work, now it's AI is taking over and putting people out of work, and you can't find work and everything. So how do you reinvent yourself and you take on these small jobs that might lead you to death, but and everything, or go missing in action or turn into a pig, but you never know. And
I was more concentrated. Sorry, Sean. I was going to say I was more concentrated on because you had Tallulah, which was a pretty much stereotypical 1930s New York accent, and then you got Frank, who's Tennessee accent, and I don't know what Solomon's accent was supposed to be, but I didn't know how being an English guy, when you hear American accents, you can't really tell the difference per se.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's
Yeah.
in England where you have 60 different accents and they can be all up the road from you. Like, yes, you'll be able to hear some sort of like regional differences, like if they're from Alabama or California or New York. They're quite strong accents. But when you try to get an English person to do an American accent, can you guys tell straight away that they're British?
Usually, I think if it slips, if it's inconsistent, because, I mean, and I'm not going to go on a whole thing about this because I could literally make like a 30-minute video about like just Doctor Who in British and American accents. But my whole thing is just like try to make it consistent, and you could probably literally just hire a college student who's American to just check the accents. That's one of the things that drives me crazy about Doctor Who sometimes. It's like, I understand you can't always hire Americans to do the voices, but like, I look and look, this actress is really lovely, and I love this series, but I watch Trial of a Time Lord, and I can barely watch it sometimes because Perry's accent, it slips. She'll literally be like, "Hi, Doctor, did you see that fireball?" And like she like does that all the time, and I see that sometimes in that Matt Smith episode where they're going to see President Nixon. That characters do that, so like I can usually tell, but like if it does that, but like I'm not gonna say I can always tell. Like, is the actor who plays Solomon, is he British?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's incredible. Like I could not tell with him at all.
Yeah, sounds like he had a dialect coach the way he was sounding.
Yeah, really, and even
Andrew Garfield can do better than what he did.
He can, but I also could have believed that he's just an American who's not Southern trying to do a Southern accent. So like,
yeah.
Well, I thought he was from Brooklyn. The way he sounded, I thought Brooklyn at first. Then when he said Tennessee, I'm like, okay, that way he can slip into the English because they say Southerners do have that British twang to them sometimes and everything because of how the British colonized down there and stuff.
But I think it's endearing because Garfield will be like, are you serious, Doctor? Like he's just like,
serious, Doctor.
Good evening, ma'am. Like,
well, I mean, it's the same thing with how many people did Hugh Laurie fool when he did Dr. House?
That's why I didn't recognize him from Black Adler.
His accent was incredible.
And the amount of people told me he sounds so good and everything. I said, I remember him going, "Hurrah, Black Adler!" So it's like, wait until you hear the real accent.
Yeah, he was in 101 Dalmatians too.
Yeah, and he did Tomorrowland, and he did a lot of movies back in his accent. And after I've seen House, I can't put him back into the British accent. But I grew up watching Blackadder, and Blackadder Goes Forward, and the Blackadder, my favorite Christmas Carol, Blackadder's Christmas. And which was the most brilliant Christmas. You guys got to see it. I'm recommending it out there if you can find it. Blackadder's Christmas Carol, the most interesting plot that I can think. Even if you haven't seen Blackadder at all, you can still chime in. But we've had lots of English actors do the American accent. Even was it Henry Cavill? You know, everybody was crying because he was British and he was doing an American Superman. And then lo and behold, he's one of the most favorite Supermans right there with Christopher Reeve at these days, if you ask me around. So
right, and you know you can do that. It's just I'm almost always going to say, hire an American to do an American accent, hire an Australian person to do an Australian accent, because you want the actor to be completely focused on the role. But sometimes some actors can pull it off, and if they can pull it off, there's no reason not to like what they're doing. Like the lady who played Rosa Parks, if you listen to Rosa Parks talk back in the 1950s and 1960s, she sounded exactly like that actress did. So it's like no issue, you know.
One bad actor who's doing a British accent was from The Boys. The Australian, is it Australian New Zealand guy?
Homelander?
Not Homeland. And what's his name? From The Boys.
It's the other one, not Jensen's character. It's
Carl Urban?
No, Butcher.
Carl Urban, yeah.
Yeah, Carl Urban.
His real name.
Yeah. Like when he tries to put a British accent on, you can tell it's not British accent, even though he's come out with all the right words. You can pick it straight away. It's just not British.
That's something I've picked up watching a lot of English people on YouTube is I used to, when people were doing the very, and I'm not going to do it, but the very like offensive American version of the English accent where they just say like tea and crumpets and all that other stupid stuff. Like I used to not be able to tell the difference between that and an actual English accent. And now like when I'm listening to a person do an English accent, if they say something that sounds super American for one of the words, I'm like, I catch it now just because I watch so many people from England now. But it's probably the same thing with Doctor Who. Like if you're not constantly paying attention to the nuances of the accent, someone sitting at the BBC headquarters might think it sounds perfect, and it doesn't. Same thing with Americans who do bad British accents.
Hell, David Tennant's Scottish, and he played it with an English accent. I was just
And it only slipped once, they said, in production.
Yeah. So what all did the audience have to say? What did our audience have?
Let's get to the chat. Hang on one second.
Yeah.
Oh, Monty Python. Oh, God.
Nico Bad. Let's go. I give this episode a 6. The idea of a human-Dalek hybrid was just too strange, but the message Dalek Sec was trying to get across was valid. The way he was exterminated was brutal. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do appreciate that when the Daleks, it seemed to be the weird justification that the Daleks are looking for a way to defeat the Doctor and the human race and try to conquer, and they're thinking outside the box. But when they do, they're not a pure Dalek anymore. They're now, Taste the Rainbow Skittle Daleks.
The humanity came back.
Wait, the new Dalek, no Dalek paradigm. Those ones?
Dalek, yeah. Taste the Rainbow.
I actually like the paradigm Daleks. I'm going to put my nick out on the line because I know a lot of people don't like them.
You know what?
Halloween episode.
They've kind of grown on me, but I'm still like, if I had to pick, if I had to go and look on the shelf somewhere and like pick a Dalek, I would definitely go with classic.
We are the Teletubby Daleks.
Yeah, Teletubby Power Ranger Daleks, but
exactly.
I think they should use them a little bit more because I like the idea that each Dalek had its own speciality.
Yeah, they need to try to make them look big though. Sorry, Mark.
Does Doctor Who have a Halloween episode? And if so, what was the best one?
I was considering this one was the Halloween episode.
But I don't think Doctor Who's actually had a quote unquote this is a Halloween episode like they did in like Buffy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they do a lot scary episodes. And if you watch our previous shows, we said which episode is like the most spookiest or the best one to watch at Halloween. We've done it a couple of times in the last couple of years. Because I chose Demons as being one of the best, scary Halloween sort of like episode to watch.
We did have the Halloween Apocalypse too.
Yeah, that was not a Halloween episode. Just had 2 things in it.
I had to be pedantic and mention it. I'm sorry.
He's got a point.
We're just gonna move on from that. Okay, that never happened.
No, that never happened.
It's like saying, what was it? The Husband and Ripper Songs is a Christmas episode because he wore the antlers and that was it. It was snowing. Does Doctor Who have any? You know what? We'll make that an episode. So Billy, we're going to take that because I know I would say Hyde was a Halloween episode ish. What else was there? The one where the daughter was made of wood.
Yeah.
The daughter was made of wood.
Yeah.
Capaldi's episode. It wasn't that scary, but I meant that.
Knock knock.
Yeah.
It's the one with the little the thingies. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Halloween episode, as far as I'm concerned. It could be. I mean, but nothing like specifically Halloween. Like there's Christmas episodes and there's a couple of New Year's Eve episodes. So. Dan Hollyfield seems like some seem like they could be Halloween episodes. Yes, don't recall any specifically designated that third. Yeah, exactly. There's no designation. Rose Kirby, why, folks? It's the 3rd of September. Oh, okay. Yep, she was saying good night, and we're going to hold her comment on the way out. Timescales, Evolution of the Daleks, surprisingly to me, is a 5.7 on the timescale out of 189 readings and reviews, and he added the cheese, so I had to put that up there. But Timescale says, once again, I disagree with my reviewers and give it at least a 6. We would have liked to have seen more views of New York City with street action scenes.
They said they didn't have the budget for it also because they were only able to shoot certain scenes there. And the Statue of Liberty was faked.
I guess they never really showed the pandemonium in the streets, did they? It was kind of Hooverville and the building and the underground, and that was kind of it.
Mm-hmm. The sewers were clean, I'll give you that.
It reminds me, yeah, that's true. It reminds me a little of Star Trek Next Generation Borg.
Iborg. The episode of Iborg.
Oh, Iborg. Okay, Iborg.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Dan says, yes, if you're going to kill off a character, you need to write them well enough for the death to have meaning to the audience. Yeah, and Solomon was just like, okay, we have a lot of potential. Let's build him up. And if he's going to die, it should be somewhere at the end where he's telling all the people, let's get the Daleks.
I feel like with Solomon specifically, even though he wasn't fleshed out as well as he might have been, something just fell down for someone. For Tom, apparently. Anyways, but for someone who is going to crash and die and be not fleshed out, Solomon did a really good job because even at the end, he was so strong in character in his belief that this could be resolved without violence. Like his purity of heart and his optimism in the face of all of this destruction was the heart of his character.
I agree, Dave, and I think it was so impactful because it kind of played a role in kind of turning Dalek Sec. But I mean, even in that final speech, that was the most time he probably got to speak continuously, right up until that point. But it kind of showed you who he was, I think.
Yeah, and it fast forward. It didn't fast forward through his character. It fast forwarded his character development to a point where it would have been or could have been taken much longer.
Would have been also a good development if, let's say, that he was trying to be peaceful, but he ended up at the very end. It's like there's no other choice. We're really going to have to stand our ground and fight this. And then, he tried and exhausted everything. I think that would have been a great story development on his character.
Eventually, yeah.
I think if I did more of a flashback of his story, or like a little bit of a flashback of his time in the Great War, because he said he served in the Great War, which is technically World War I to us now. I think that will give it a little bit more of a substance, because then you can see what he went through for a little bit. If it's only just like a 10-second flashback, you know what I mean, of what he went through, and now he's trying to do a peaceful solution of what he saw in the horrors of the Great War, then that the thing. But because you just got talked about, it just didn't feel like you're connected to him as much.
Yeah, and I guess maybe I'm doing some of the work too, for his backstory, because I mean, for me, being an American who grew up with a lot of American history, I mean, I'm looking at Solomon as a black man trying to lead people through the Depression era at that time. I mean, think about what he's been through in that city at that time, and he's still so selfless when dealing with other people. And I think that helps just in my own headcanon, but of course none of that is really explicitly said on screen much. So
got it. I would have loved to see the Daleks take out some honking New York City cabs. Yes.
Yeah.
I would love to see that today. Anyway, since Daleks don't seem to have hands, how are they able to build ships?
Big slaves.
Those little sucker things. I agree with Mark that there's too much blue screen, but there's never too much blue cheese. Okay. Hey.
Nice.
Billy says, what about River Song and Missy getting their own spinoff?
Oh dear Lord, that would no.
I'm thinking Big Finish.
Wait, what did you say about
I don't
what do
think
they want
two
for
of
the
them have
spinoff?
ever met in Big Finish.
Yeah, they have.
Have they?
No.
Yeah.
No, I think he
one of
means
the
having a
diaries.
show with
No.
both of them.
One of the diaries of River Song. She meets
Okay.
Missy. I will put money that those two have met. I guarantee that they have met.
I want to see that live.
She meets who? I'm so sorry, I keep mishearing it.
Missy.
Oh, River Song and Missy.
Yeah, I think you can probably pull it up on YouTube. I think the audio's there, or at least a portion of the audio, because I remember that it was like Missy and River Song. I was like, That's so freaking cool. Has Doctor Who ever shown an evolved Dalek or the final evolution form? That's the thing about the Daleks. I don't think there's a final evolution.
This
They're
isn't
always
even my
evolving.
final form.
The
tried to
Mystium
speak-
River is called the Bella test. Bekdel test. That's the name of the audio.
Bechdel test?
Bechdel test. The Bechdel.
That's hilarious. Do you guys know what the Bechdel test is?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Bechdel test is this. It's a feminist trope. It's like, do two female characters in the story ever talk together on screen about anything besides a man? And if there's Missy and River meeting and it's called the Bechdel test, that's really funny because
There's a certain set of rules that there's like 3 or 4 stages, but the thing
Yeah,
is,
there's
I
a couple
think
stages
they
of it.
actually got back with the woman who I think Bechdel herself, and she goes, "I was just joking."
Right?
This
Yeah.
She goes, "No, I was kidding about this. I don't know why you even thought this was a thing." And she goes,
Yeah.
And get it because despite being a joke, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is kind of funny
thing
how
is-
like a lot of things don't pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah.
That's even mentioned in class at the very first episode. Remember, they said, I think they were blowing off. I just remember they were talking about the Bechdel test.
You're assuming that humans watched Class. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
Ooh.
Shit, when the thing went boom, boom, and then they cut it.
First of all, I'm not human. Second of all, I had to review that crap on another podcast. and
Any child in the 70s, born in the 70s, was dropped off by the aliens. Just leave it at that.
I never actually watched, like, I didn't watch Glass, so I have no personal. It's just one of those things like Morbius. It's like I didn't see Morbius, and I guess that's the joke.
See
But-
the first episode at least because Capaldi's in it and he does a superb job. And then
Wait,
if you never
really?
watch yeah,
You're gonna like it, yes.
Why did nobody
I
tell
will
me that?
I will give you that because it was in the commercials. So I mean, he makes an appearance in the first episode, and the way he sets everything up for Class,
Mhm.
it was awesome. It's Capaldi. Come on, I mean, he does
Right.
no wrong. But the way that he interacts with the kids and the teacher or whoever Mrs. Quill is, it was really cool. I like the way it ended the first episode. After that, you can just tell everything, whatever.
If we get a second, Christian, which you might not, can I tell you guys about a Doctor Who spinoff idea I had? I won't go into it right now because we're going through chats, but I'd love to tell you guys.
Well,
about that
actually,
sometime.
we are on a hard.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here pretty quick here.
Has Doctor? Okay, yeah, we are done there, and I will keep that for much. Yeah, I think we can end the chats right there.
Yeah. So that brings us pretty much to a close for today. Gadget, where can we find you? Or wait, or Christian, do we have other things to do before we do that?
But please announce those other things real quick, Christian.
Yeah, that's right.
No. I'll put those at the end unless Gadget
Okay.
can do those first. Unless you want me to
go
do
for
this.
You want to leave them? You want to leave them for the end? That way, everybody
I'm gonna
knows.
leave it for the end so everybody remembers it at the end there.
Okay. Well, then you guys are gonna. Besides that thing, you're gonna catch me at New York Comic Con this October, as well as at the Botanical Gardens here in New York on my birthday for the Nightmare Before Christmas event. You can get my books on Lulu.com. Please, guys, I got no money coming in and stuff. It's so hard to find a job when a computer takes it. And other things and events. Right now, September is iffy for me because we're having a very hard time as me being the caretaker. And I will tell you this, guys, take care of your mental health and yourself. And let someone know there is things going on because you're only you and everything. And you can't spread your love if you're not being able to love yourself, And no pun intended with this episode and everything, but yeah, but catch me at all those events. I'll try to do something for Christmas, but I also do a big Halloween event for kids in my neighborhood. I'll have more details on that if it's going to be here at the apartment building or if I'm able to get something to help me with it. But I hope to see you guys this Halloween. We are a safe haven for kids. And with the days of Halloween, I hope we can talk more about everybody's Halloween and what they're going to be planning, as well as what's coming up next on The Legend of Traveling TARDIS. So I hope to see you guys at New York Comic Con and Botanical Gardens this time. See you soon.
And Tom, where can we find you?
Most of the time on Sunday nights at Spill the Geek Tea. That's what time we do. 5 p.m. Eastern. And that's all I'm doing right now. I just looking around at trying to sense something.
Got it.
Not that
Dave,
bad.
Candyman, where can we find you?
You can also find me at Spill the Geek Tea on Sunday shows. And hopefully this weekend I'll be at an event called Invasion Colchester, which is a charity event where the whole most of the town centre literally basically dresses up as all different types of fandoms, and we raise money for the local to hospice. I'm not sure if you can put a link up there, Christian. I'm not sure you can do that.
I don't have it with me. Gadget, can you pull the link up and put it in the private
Yeah,
chat?
I'm gonna put in the.
Gotcha. In the meantime, Sean, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Our Philosophy Is. I'm doing currently my run through the Troughton era. I'm a little bit delayed. I'm still working on the Macroterra, but if you want to hear me talk about sci-fi stuff in general, as I always say, in a queer-friendly space, you can head on over there. I just did a review of Jurassic World Chaos Theory. If you want to hear about why I got to the end of that first season and then shut it off, you can head on over there. I will talk about that. And if any of that sounds good to you, then please subscribe. I don't mind plugging my channel in that way. Thank you, guys.
Gotcha. Dave.
And you can find me on my channel, youtube.com/theratHole, DOTCA. You can also find me specifically this coming Thursday on Happiness Patrol. That's youtube.com/@happinesspatrolshow. This month we're talking about Solo, a Star Wars story. So join us for that, along with Melanie Dean, Jessica Womack, and Cameron and Scott as well, who you guys don't know on this channel. Also coming soon, I've got Horses on Film, a new podcast coming soon with Scott and Cameron and myself. And this week I'll be on Earth Station Who, talking about this same show. Daleks in Manhattan and
really?
The Daleks.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap it up there, folks. Thank you for joining us. Last minute thing, don't forget, let me go ahead and find this. Ancient City Con, we're going to be interviewing Max Michaels next week. So catch that episode September 12th through the 14th. It's taking place at the World Golf Village Renaissance Resort. We're going to be there with the Daleks of Florida, and the Doctor Who podcast will be there as well. And also check out Makers Fair, which will be taking place November 8th and the 9th over at the Central Lake Builders will return. And get your tickets now, makersfairorlando.com, as well as, of course, all night we've been talking about bacon. So Kitchen Killers barbecue sauce. Don't forget to write to Billy Floyd at kitchenkillers@gmail.com. And don't forget to put TARDIS in the subject line or somewhere so you can get 10% off. And with that, everybody, we're going to go ahead and close up. Don't forget to say goodnight to Simon. And until the next adventure, Tony, go ahead. And there he is.
Thanks, Simon.
Good night, Simon.
Take it away, Tony.